Yeah, thanks, Amanda. Yeah, first and foremost, apologize to our fans. It's a feeling that we haven't had in this building in 20 plus games. Losing at home is not something that we're comfortable with. It feels strange. You have to give credit to Orlando. They obviously started the game in a way where they put us behind the eight ball pretty quickly. I think the harder we tried, the worse it got in the beginning part of the game. And when you're chasing the game down 2-0, plans kind of go out the window. So we let ourselves down as a team. I'll take responsibility as the coach and the leader. So again, apologize to the fans that came out and supported us on a wet, cold night. It wasn't good enough. The players do deserve credit for fighting their way back into the game. I think we get a good goal from Andreas, and from there, create some chances. But when you put yourself down 2 goals, you could see parts in the second half where you're chasing a game, you have put so much into it, the fatigue starts to set in. It gets harder and harder to get around the ball. We tried to throw some fresh legs in there and change the formation. I think we did create a couple chances to tie the game. Their goalkeeper made a save or two. But it was a night where we weren't good enough. We're shorthanded. We'll regroup now, get some guys back, and have a huge 2 home games. So I really call for our fans. Again, I'll own tonight and take ownership of it, but we need them more than ever against Kansas City and then Atlas in the Champions League. So 2 big games at home now. We'll regroup, and I promise we'll be better.
First of all, how's Michael?
He's okay. He was sick yesterday, a little bit sick today. Ure, you're talking about? Yeah. He gave everything. I think he you could tell hit the wall a little bit and was tired. So I'll just say I don't think much was staying down, and he was kind of felt it a little bit. So it's tough on a night where we're already shorthanded.
Concurrent with that and being shorthanded and understanding.
Sorry, the only worst thing would have been if Glestis' wife went into labor. That would have made it really interesting today, but that didn't happen. I expected it to be honest.
Chris Donovan.
Yeah.
Was the only option you had after a certain point.
Yeah.
Is he doing enough?
He worked his tail off. Chris is a kid that gets on the end of things. He runs, he presses, he fights for everything. And again, he's thrown into a situation where it's 90 minutes in a big game at home. And again, we let ourselves down as a team, conceding 2 goals early. That's unacceptable for us, especially in this building. So when you talk about tactics and different things and ideas and strategy going into a game, when you concede that early, it kind of goes out the window, and that's not us. It's not what we're about. I think you guys know by now, and you've heard me say it in 140 press conferences in a row in this building, our margins are razor thin. And if we're not all up for it from the start of the game, new guys, young guys that usually start, guys that usually come off the bench, we're not going to win much. So everybody has to contribute. Everybody has to be ready to do their job. And in the first 10 minutes, we weren't. So we paid for it. We'll learn from it. We have to regroup quickly, though. We have, again, a week to prepare for Kansas City, but then it gets, I'll just say, very, very busy.
Jim, are you concerned that the first 10 minutes are becoming a trend? You almost can see the
Yeah, it's one of those things. The more I talk about it, the worse it gets. So we talk about it over and over. I might just shut up about it this week and not talk about the start to the game because we've let ourselves down in a lot of the beginnings of games, not even conceding goals, just conceding chances right away and too early. So our defensive shape and our defensive form is something that we take great pride in, and you can tell it's our foundation, and our goals against record speaks for itself. Is there any question we miss, Andre securing things back there? Of course, just like any player misses their best players. So, it's natural and normal. But as a group, we need to do more to not concede silly goals.
Is there anything you can do from watching the film to mistakes? Do you think it's just mental mistakes that happen?
Yeah, I mean, look, sometimes you have parts of seasons where nothing goes in against you, and you get breaks and you get saves, or you get, deflections, or you get calls that go your way. And then there's stretches of the year too where the harder you try, the worse it gets, and blocks all of a sudden go into the upper corner, or a step in your back line isn't quite as in sync as it's supposed to be, and a breakaway happens from kind of a nothing play. So we let ourselves down. We weren't efficient enough, we weren't effective enough, and I know the expectations for the group at the start of the season have been very, very high, and I think they're very high for the guys in the locker room. And maybe we're all trying to be perfect rather than just doing our job, and I think that's what we need to get back to.
Jim, you've talked before about that space right at the top of the box, that zone 14.
Yeah.
How important that is defensively. It seemed like Orlando had some free runners space there tonight.
Yeah.
What did you see from the sideline?
Yeah, we gave the Ojeda kid too much time and space, too. He really exploited us there. Pereira got into some dangerous areas and can play a killer ball. I think a little bit what happened too when you concede the first one, like I said before, I think everybody on the field, they kind of go, okay, I'll help out and I'll do more, and then you started to see us kind of running out of that zone and trying to cover guys that do the job of two people, and all of a sudden now there's just gaps and holes everywhere. So you saw a game for me that I said on the sidelines to my assistants, I go, this isn't the kind of game we want to play. And when it starts to go end to end and it's disorganized, it's fun to watch maybe because it's just scrambles and last-ditch tackles, but we're not built to win those games. I think you guys know that by now. We have to be pretty compact, pretty organized, and close to each other, and tonight we weren't really close to help each other out. Leon was on an island with two guys a lot. Ali would work and get pressure to the ball, but then there's two open players. So we were kind of scrambling. Again, and it all starts because we have to chase the game, and we have to try to get a goal. And that makes us leave what we're good at and get into a place where we're trying to come from behind, which we've shown good fight to come from behind, but it's not a position we want to be in. It's not what we're built on.
Jim, with the players you had available, you were kind of midfield heavy, forward thing.
Yeah.
What was the thinking with going two forwards versus maybe five in midfield?
Yeah, we were, we discussed it during the week for sure. Just personnel that we had, and the opponent that we were playing against. We thought that two strikers, we thought we could get in behind them more. It didn't happen, because part of it's the opponent played well. Part of it is maybe I could have tweaked things and changed things earlier in the game. I'll have second guess different things when we concede early goals like that. So again, we went with two strikers. We went with staying in the diamond where guys would be, I thought more comfortable and more used to their assignments. But it didn't go as well as we had hoped. Do we miss the guys that aren't here? Of course. I think every team would like to have the full allotment and selection of players that are healthy. It was hard, and we came up a little bit short tonight. So again, I'll take ownership and take the blame on this one.
Go here.
Jim, you guys typically don't shoot a lot from outside the box. Tonight it was pretty much 50-50 with shots outside the box and inside. Was part of the thinking tonight wanting to throw shots from distance and hoping the goalie would spill the ball and then you guys would crash the net?
Yeah, look, they have a goalkeeper that has done a good job for them, but hasn't played a ton of MLS games, similar to Joe probably in recent years. So the idea is to test them as much as possible, put traffic in front of them, try to hit the target. We did okay at it. I still don't think we tested him enough, especially in our building. But he was under some pressure. He made a couple good saves. Ollie had a good look at the end. Jack had one where the ball wouldn't sit for him. But overall, whenever there's a goalkeeper that's their starters away on international duty, we always try to get shots on target, and I think we missed the target quite a bit tonight.
Hey, Jim, despite the loss, are there any positives you can take from a game like that?
Yeah, I still think we learned about our group, right? So, guys played 90 minutes that sometimes don't get the opportunity to, and some guys had decent performances. Overall, I still think there's moments where I thought Jacob was still excellent tonight. I don't want to get into the habit, though, that he's creating the majority of our chances. We don't want that from our defender. But he's been excellent for us. And overall, just not enough tonight. Again, I give the guys credit for the effort and the work rate, but you can tell that we missed some pieces tonight. And, We learned a little bit about our group. We learned some good things. We learned some things we need to improve on. And, it's something where we have to regroup quickly and turn around and play Kansas City. Yeah.
You were talking about the defensive lapses earlier, that first goal in particular.
Yeah, bad.
How do you address that?
Well, look, at the professional level, breakaway shouldn't happen. And is it close? Is he almost offsides? Yes, but we lose a bad ball, and it starts with that. And then, if you go through the tape of us at home in this building over the last 5 years, how many of those can you really look at where all of a sudden we're quickly in the first minute into a 1v1 with our goalkeeper? So not us, not good enough, and I think we know that. But I promise our fans this group will have a response and get things right, starting with Kansas City, and then obviously we're going to need them against a good Atlas team here in the Champions League. So it's early. It's 5 games in. We're pissed, and we're going to get better.
So Andre scores the goal.
Yeah.
His first starting league play for you guys. Seemed like he was in and around a lot of the action.
Uh-huh.
What do you think about Andres, and how close is he to being a regular starter?
Yeah, Andres did great. He did great when he came in the Champions League, got us 2 goals. He's a player that's a two-way player. He's comfortable on the ball. He works hard on the defensive side as well. He is good size, sneakily a big guy out there too, wins a lot of aerial duels and is good on restarts. So I'm really happy with Andres, happy for him to get the goal, but he'd give up that goal for 3 points. So I know the mentality that he has. So he's only going to get better and better with our group as he gets used to it. We played him a little bit out of position too on the left-hand side, but I kind of liked it because he can cut in on his right foot. He can make plays for us, and he was dangerous around the goal tonight too. And on a different night, maybe he could have even scored a couple more. So he did a good job. He was, I would say, a bright spot on the night. And look, there's still no lack of effort from the group. They put everything into the game. They give everything. We're shorthanded. We're down quite a few guys. And once we get everyone back, I think we're gonna get on a little run here. Thanks, guys.